Breaking news. Reports suggest that Bashar al-Assad has left Damascus, marking a pivotal moment in the Syrian conflict. If true, this development echoes the swift fall of Kabul, which took 14 days to collapse. However, Damascus seems to be nearing its fall within just 10 days. With Syrian forces unwilling to fight, even the efforts of Iran's elite Quds Force commanders seem ineffective. It appears that the Assad dynasty's half-century-long rule in Syria is coming to an end. The final battle might unfold along a 193-kilometer coastal strip, where Assad's Alawite loyalists are expected to make their last stand. But if Russia and Iran lose this strategic leverage, it could mark a significant shift in the Middle East. The real conflict, however, begins after Damascus falls. The fragmented opposition. The rebel forces are not a single, unified entity. Instead, they consist of over 50 smaller groups operating together under a loosely coordinated structure. As these groups gain ground, Syria faces potential fragmentation into 5 separate regions, each with its own governance. In this complex scenario, a shadowy, grand plan, involving the United States, Israel, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey seems to be taking shape. Assad on the run? Speculation is rife that President Bashar al-Assad has fled to a safe location. Although unconfirmed, there are visible signs of a collapsing regime. Videos on social media show Syrian officials abandoning their posts, and rebel forces destroying statues of Bashar's father, Hafez al-Assad. Rebels have advanced rapidly along the M5 highway, capturing key cities like Idlib and Hama, and now threatening Homs. At the time of this recording, Homs is under siege and could fall at any moment. Simultaneous offensives. While the northern front sees rapid rebel advances, the Free Syrian Army and other factions have launched armed uprisings from the south, advancing toward Damascus from Dara. With nearly 30,000 soldiers from 50 different groups, they are systematically seizing towns and cities. Rebels are now just 2 kilometers from Damascus, a short morning walk away. Israel enters the fray. Adding to Assad's woes, Israel has launched attacks from the Golan Heights, targeting regime forces and infrastructure. Israel's involvement highlights Assad's isolation, as even his key allies, Iran and Russia, seem less committed than they were in 2015. Strategic importance of the coastal line. The Assad regime's lifeline lies along a 193-kilometer coastal strip, home to the Alawite community and 3 major Russian military bases. This area remains well defended with advanced Russian systems. However, the rebel forces, supported by Turkey, Israel, Ukraine, and the US, are closing in on this critical region. If rebels or the Turkish-backed Syrian National Army seize Homs, it could deal a devastating blow to the Assad regime, cutting off the coastal region from Damascus. This would leave Assad isolated with only the coastal stronghold as a last refuge. The endgame in Damascus. Damascus, already surrounded, faces an inevitable fall if Homs is lost. Israel's bombings have further disrupted supply routes, leaving Assad with no safe escape path. If Assad cannot be evacuated by a major Russian or Iranian operation, he might meet a fate similar to Libya's Gaddafi, becoming another victim of a bloody civil war. A fractured future. The rebels' success is fueled by Sunni majority support, which constitutes 70 to 80% of Syria's population, in contrast to the Alawites' 10 to 15%. However, Syria's future remains uncertain. The fragmented opposition includes not just Sunni factions like Hayat Tahrir al-Sham and Kurdish forces, but also over 50 smaller armed groups. This chaotic mix complicates governance and stability, even if Assad falls. Historical context. The conflict stems from decades of Alawite dominance over a Sunni majority population. This tension has roots in the 1970 coup by Hafez al-Assad, who established Alawite control, and the brutal suppression of Sunni uprisings, most notably the 1982 Hama massacre. Conclusion. As Damascus stands on the brink, the Assad regime's 54-year dominance seems to be ending. The question now is not just whether Damascus will fall, but what will follow in its wake. A divided Syria or a prolonged conflict? Stay tuned as we bring you updates on this historic turning point in Syria's civil war. Call to action. If you found this analysis insightful, please like, share, and subscribe to stay informed about global conflicts and their implications.